There's a strange type of person in the world. Someone with massive dreams, big goals, powerful ideas, but almost no consistency. They think constantly about the life they want. They imagine success, freedom, discipline, transformation, and deep down, they know they're capable of more. But every day somehow ends the same way. Procrastination, distraction, mental exhaustion, guilt, and over time, they begin calling themselves lazy. But psychology suggests something much deeper may be happening. Because many ambitious people are not truly lazy. They're mentally overwhelmed, dopamine addicted, emotionally exhausted, or trapped in cycles their brain no longer knows how to escape. And the dangerous part is, the longer this continues, the more they start doubting themselves. One of the biggest reasons ambitious people struggle with action is perfectionism. Most people think perfectionism creates productivity. But psychologically, perfectionism often destroys it. Because when your mind becomes obsessed with doing something perfectly, starting becomes emotionally stressful. Your brain begins associating action with pressure. So instead of taking imperfect action, you delay everything. You overthink. You plan endlessly. You wait for motivation. You wait for the perfect time. And slowly, dreams stay dreams. Another hidden reason is dopamine overload. Modern life has completely changed the human attention span. Your brain now has instant access to entertainment, social media, videos, music, notifications, and endless stimulation. And every time you consume fast dopamine repeatedly, your brain becomes less interested in slow rewards. This is why difficult goals begin feeling emotionally heavy. Studying feels harder. Working feels exhausting. Discipline feels painful. Not because you're weak, but because your brain has been trained to crave quick stimulation constantly. And ambitious people suffer deeply from this, because they still have goals, but no longer have the mental focus needed to pursue them consistently. Another painful truth is this. Some ambitious people are mentally exhausted, not lazy. They carry years of stress, pressure, self-criticism, fear of failure, and emotional burnout. Outwardly, it looks like procrastination, but internally, their nervous system is overwhelmed. And eventually the brain stops responding with motivation. It responds with avoidance, because exhausted minds seek escape, not pressure. This is why some people spend hours scrolling through content about success, instead of actually working toward it. They want inspiration without emotional strain. And slowly, consuming productivity becomes easier than practicing it. Another psychological trap is identity conflict. Many ambitious people imagine a future version of themselves that feels powerful, but their daily habits contradict that identity completely. And over time, this creates internal frustration, because every day the brain notices the gap between who you want to become and who you repeatedly behave like. That gap creates guilt, and guilt slowly destroys self-trust. Eventually, some people stop believing their own promises. They say, "I'll start tomorrow," but psychologically, their brain no longer fully trusts them anymore. And this is dangerous, because self-trust is the foundation of discipline. Without self-trust, motivation becomes unstable. Now here's something important most people never hear. Motivation is unreliable. Emotion changes constantly. Some days you'll feel inspired. Other days you'll feel mentally empty. That's normal. But disciplined people do something differently. They reduce emotional negotiation. Instead of constantly asking, "Do I feel motivated today?" they train themselves to act despite emotion. And psychologically, this slowly rebuilds mental strength. Because confidence is not built by thinking about action. It's built by repeatedly proving to yourself that you can act even when you don't feel like it. Small wins matter more than dramatic motivation. One workout, one focused hour, one completed task, one difficult decision. These tiny actions slowly rebuild self-respect. And once self-respect returns, momentum becomes easier. Another thing ambitious people must understand is this: your environment controls more of your behavior than you realize. If distractions surround you constantly, your brain will struggle to focus. If your phone controls your attention controls your future. And mentally strong people eventually realize something powerful. Discipline is easier when temptation is harder to access. That's why changing your environment often matters more than relying on willpower alone. And finally, stop calling yourself lazy so casually. Words repeated constantly become identity, and identity shapes behavior. The more you say, "I'm lazy," "I never finish anything," "I lack discipline," the more your brain begins accepting those labels as truth. But human beings are adaptable. Brains can change. Habits can change. Focus can return. Discipline can be rebuilt. Slowly. But it starts with honesty, not self-hatred. Because many ambitious people are not failing because they're incapable. They're failing because their mind has been overstimulated, exhausted, distracted, and psychologically conditioned by modern habits. And once you understand that, you stop seeing yourself as broken and start rebuilding yourself intentionally. If this video resonated with you, comment, "Small steps still move forward." And if you enjoy psychology and self-improvement content designed to help you understand your mind, rebuild discipline, and become mentally stronger, subscribe to The Mindscape. There's always more happening beneath the surface.